Greetings and salutations, fine folks. It is your boy Glennlawrence, and I am back with another episode of the BLERDPodcast, a space where we like to have unfiltered conversations and nerd out about fatherhood. Man, I'm getting better and better at saying that. It's just rolling off the tongue now, and I'm feeling very, very accomplished at saying my intro. It feels great. It's a damn good feeling when you do something, you do it well, and you do it right. All right, that's enough about me. I really got to talk about the people who make it so that I can be here. Our sponsors, the lovely, as always, theymademewearit. That's theymademewearit. It's a husband and wife team, and they're on a mission to help dogs and other animals discover their fashionable side. So whether it's an awesome Halloween costume, adorable dress, comfy jammies, custom designer gowns, necklaces, anklets. I think we got some charm bracelets working now. Fanny packs, doggy fanny packs. That's a new thing. So they can put all their little bones and things they dig up in the yard. They can put them right in there. All their little Kongs, all that type of thing. They got them. They got it. They can do everything that you're looking for. So just holler at They Made Me Wear It. They're amazing. And also realize that when you're shopping in their store, you're helping out Hope for Paws, which is an animal rescue organization that is working tirelessly to save these animals, get them off the streets, get them off the mean streets. You know what I mean? They're, out there doing things. Substance abuse is a big problem in the animal community, and they're helping clean all that up. Anyways, so anytime you buy something, you contribute to Hope for Paws. So that's a good thing. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, code word blerd for 15% on checkout if you check them out. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Holler at theymademewearit, and you will be blessed with the greatest in fashion. Man, that was great. Listen, things are going well. They're swell. They're going really good here. Kid's good. He's growing. He's getting bigger. He's talking back. He's stringing long sentences, and that is a pleasure for me to see. Although now he can make a fully formed thought about why he does not want to listen to what I'm telling him to do, which is annoying. Before it was just like, no. Now it's just like, no, I would rather not, Dad. Like, he's just like, where'd you learn rather not? How'd you learn to speak with such perfect grammar? I must be a good teacher. Anyway, that's what's going on in my life. But in our lives, our collective lives as a BLERDDad community, BLERDDadpodcast community, what are we doing today? We are going to be talking to the awesome Gigi Marie. She hails from the vibrant city of Syracuse, New York, which I don't think I've ever heard it described as that. But yes, vibrant city of Syracuse, New York. She's a singer-songwriter with fiery red hair and an independent spirit. With a guitar in her hand, Gigi weaves together heartfelt melodies and introspective lyrics that resonate with audiences in the indie rock scene. I totally agree. That's how I feel about it. She grew up in a diverse and culturally rich community of Syracuse. A lot of shout outs to Syracuse, but she loves DC now because that's her home. She found inspiration in the city's vibrant music scene, and she's been on it ever since. She's been influenced by the raw energy of local bands and the diverse range of musical styles. Whew, she's got a lot going on. She developed her own unique sound that blends elements of indie rock, folk, alternative genres, all that stuff together. The red hair, again, it's a symbol of her fiery passion. She loves everything about her red hair. I love everything about her. She has the bio is much, much longer. We're going to get into everything that she's done, but I think I should just bring her in right now. It's my good friend, Gigi Marie. What's happening? How are you?
I'm great, Glenn.
Are you upset that should I have read more? There's so much more in the bio. You've done so much.
No, you really get me. Thank you.
I did. It's just like the fiery red hair. So
did you know I'm from Syracuse?
Say it again.
Did you know I'm from Syracuse?
I did not know you were from Syracuse, but I have a cousin who actually went to Syracuse. They went to the school. So and I've never visited the city. So I'm making fun. Like, if I don't think I've ever heard it described as vibrant, but maybe it is. Maybe when I go up there, I do got to take a trip up there. My cousin, he's been telling me I need to come up there. I think I'm gonna go check it out and see how vibrant it is.
Yeah, without getting like too schmaltzy, and I don't mean to turn this into like a commercial for Syracuse, but there's a lot of really cool stuff happening right now there.
Ooh.
A lot of people trying to restore some of the beauty that's been there for years.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, Syracuse University, I remember being a kid, like in middle school and high school, going to the SU Hill and walking around and trying to be like years older than I was.
Right.
There's a lot of cool stuff going on there.
Nice. Well, you got a lot of cool stuff going on. I see you've got the music thing going. And so for those who don't know, Gigi Marie and her husband, have been some of the biggest supporters in my comedy career. And actually, I don't know if you all knew this. When I was starting out, I was wondering if I was funny or not. And then y'all would come to multiple shows, and at first I was like, oh, they must like the headliner that we got. And then you're like, no, you're funny. We like going to your shows. And then I was just like, what? People actually like, and it gave me the inspiration to keep going. So I really, really appreciate that. That's why I was very, very happy to have you on here and to talk about your music, because you are now, or I guess always been like a musician, but you're really starting to perform a lot more now. And I see you all over the socials and everything. You got shows and gigs and stuff. Like, what's going on with your music?
Yeah, it's been really happening. I'm about to finish my first album, and I'm playing like the vocals and like the finishing works on it very soon. And that will hopefully be out. Like I'm kind of getting used to the way that all of this works. And I'm noticing that with music, you might create a song really fast, but the actual recording of it and making it something that other people can listen to, that takes a little bit longer. So in my whole learning progression here, I'm hoping that it will come out before the end of 2023.
Nice. So that's right around the corner, because it's only like a few months away.
Yeah.
So we're going to be able to hear, because I haven't been able to hear anything yet. I haven't been able to hear anything that you've put out yet, and I'm very, very like excited. I feel like, because I've asked you before, I was like, oh, when's the show happening? And I feel like I haven't been able to come out to like a show recently or at all. And I'm like, man, I really want to get to them. Schedules are conflicting, but I definitely want to come out there and support and see you live.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, just go ahead. Gigi Marie Music, all of the socials. I have my link tree up there for anything that's going to be happening more recently. I have some stuff happening at the Public Option in November. I also have something happening at Galactic Panther at the end of September. So a lot of chances.
I have to come out, because I've performed at Galactic Panther before. I'm about to come out there. It's a very nice venue. It's like super cool, and it's right on King Street. But how are the kids handling mom's newfound like rock stardom?
It's so funny because my youngest, so I went through, I'm always changing my hair color. I'm a redhead, but like I've gone from purple to like pinks and blues and stuff. And he was saying once I became like a redhead again, he was like, oh, but mom, now I can't like say that you're the pop star. Like I can't quite. But yeah,
Wait, so your natural red is that red?
it's this red. Yep.
Wow, that's like, you don't even have to do any coloring. That's like that's natural beauty right there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. They're kind of just going along with the flow of it. The older one is pretty unbothered. Like he's doing his own thing. He has his friends. He has his video games. Like he's very much in his own little, all right, mom, I love you. You do what you want to do. But the younger one, he'll come along to the shows and stuff. He's sort of my roadie. He'll take my guitar. He'll put it on him. He'll be like, yeah, I'm helping my mom like set up for the
so
show.
Cool. That's so cool.
So
do they give you inspiration? Like, do you find yourself making songs about them? Because I make jokes about, my son all the time. Like, same thing, or?
I do.
Maybe not. Oh,
yeah. So a little bit of inside baseball here. You're the first to know I'm kind of dedicating this first album to my boys.
Oh,
for sure. Like
so
there's
that's like
a lot of inspiration.
That's awesome. That's like that's an exclusive right here. Listen, Blerd podcast, we get exclusives. That's amazing. No, but that is really, really cool. Like, in what aspect are you dedicating it to them? Like, I don't know, how do dedications work when you dedicate? Do you have to have like a reason why this person, or can you just be like, it's dedicated to you, so all the jokes are about you, or all the songs? Like, how does it work?
I'll be that artist and say, interpret it as you will.
All right. So do each of them get a separate song, or are they both on the same song, or how's
it's
that?
It's gonna be like the overall album.
Okay. That is very, very cool. I love that. And so the older one is kind of like he listened to it? Do they listen to your music?
So I mean, they all have to because I practice in the house all the time. Like they've heard my songs, like they'll, kind of tease me about it. There's
Yeah.
a lot of they hear it. It's around.
Nice.
So, but at the same time, the older one is very much just kind of like, whatever you do, you mom. Like you kind of,
Go
yeah.
with the flow.
Mhm.
I love that. You know what I mean? And then the younger ones like kind of like, oh, do they have any like musical inclinations? Or are they talented musically?
So they both do. I'm okay, so I'm gonna be that mom, like whatever. But Glenn, I promise you, like they both have really good ears.
Okay.
So I remember early on, um, the eldest one, we would listen to like all sorts of music in the car, and he was able to pull a couple of Beatles songs. Like I would just play my music library on at random, like
Mm,
my Apple Music library,
yeah.
and he was able to like hear one Beatles song and then like a whole bunch of other songs played in between, and then another one played. And he was like 5 years old at the time, and he was like, "Is this the Beatles?" And I was like, "Yeah, honey, yeah, it's the Beatles. Yes."
It's like a proud moment, right?
Oh, it was such a proud moment. So yeah, they have pretty decent ears. They're musical people.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you done any, because you're a teacher, right?
That's my 9 to 5. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I guess my question, like, do you use some of that to like actually teach them like instruments? Do you like show them how to use the pick, or like drums, or cymbals, or whatever, or the recorder? The recorder is a big one in our household because he comes in, my little dude comes in with the recorder just like beep, 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 like in the morning to wake us up, almost like a rooster. Um,
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I
is
mean,
it cute?
is it
Is
cute?
it? Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
it
go with it being
it's
cute.
cute on the outside, and it's not cute when you're like, I'm tired. I want these extra minutes to
Yeah,
sleep.
so the eldest, he is more about voice. He has an amazing voice. He loves to sing, and he also plays piano. And I can't really credit myself too much with it because I've let them find their instruments on their own.
Mm.
And I sort of give them guidance as that goes along, but I'm not super on them or micromanaging anything. And then the youngest one wanted to join orchestra this past year. So
Oh,
he's been playing violin and he's still going to play violin and he loves it. So
oh,
I'm a happy mama.
nice. Do they have vocal range? Are they? Can they sing?
They really do. I mean, the boys have voices,
That's
and
that's
the
awesome.
eldest one is very much like me, where he's quiet and shy and like,
Mm.
but then on stage, it's a totally different person. You know what I mean?
He just comes alive.
Um, yeah, totally. But then the younger one, he's sort of on all the time. He's like our extrovert, and he will sing, he will dance. I mean, he's always
He's the
fun.
performer of the group.
Yeah,
He's the Timberlake of the group.
kinda. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh man, yeah, I'm very interested to like see how it like how much they take from our art, it's like the art that we put out there, what we produce, and what we like show to the world, how much do they take from that? And I would hope that he has like kind of a spirit to do that type of thing, to have like a some type of passion he wants to bring forth and share with the world, and then maybe like just from watching me do my thing, like figure out like rub off on him for him to do his thing. I don't know, it'd be kind of,
Absolutely. I
yeah, it's kind
mean,
of cool.
I have a feeling between you and Stephanie, just sort of like having the atmosphere of 2 people following their passions. That's amazing for a child, you know what I mean? Like, to have
Yeah,
2 parents who are fully invested in bringing their dreams to some sort of fruition, that's
right.
amazing. Like,
Yeah,
that's so inspirational.
yeah, and
So,
I feel like you both have that too. You and
thanks.
and Boofer have that too. Now I know that you all were doing the podcast, and I actually liked it. I listened to episodes of it. I thought he was a little bit mean to you every now and then, and I would be like, "Hey, you cut that out. You be nice." But it was a very fun dynamic. I thought it was a fun dynamic. I miss that guy. He was on the podcast. I think he was episode 7 or something like that. But
Oh, was he? Wow. Okay.
yeah. Oh wait, you didn't listen to the episode he was on? You
I
guys
think
y'all should compare
I
and see
know
who
I
has
did.
more listeners for their episode.
So Glenn, I know I listened. Don't worry. It's just like, wow, episode 7, that seems like so
Well, hold on. Let
long ago.
me. I don't want to say it wrong. It might have been an episode before. So I don't know. So 70. What episode was it? Was it 7? What episode was it on? Anyways, it'll be interesting to compare the metrics to see how who who in the because
Uh-oh.
when y'all are doing the
Competition.
podcast, he's like I'm the voice here. I'm the man. And then you're like, wait a minute. People want to hear my voice.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, like, he was mean, and I got that feedback from other people, but, like, I there's something very honeymooners about the 2 of us, I think,
Right.
in some ways. It's sort of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, well, it
he's
wasn't
more.
cruel. It was very like a Ralph. What is Ralph Hamden? What it was like that, that type of thing. There's definitely love there,
Mhm.
but it was funny to see from my point of view. And of course, I'm a comedian, so maybe I have a weird sense of humor. I like to see spouses get yelled at, whether it's from the wife to the husband or the husband to the wife. So maybe I'm weird, but no, I thought your dynamic was actually like really, really fun. And I thought the
Thanks.
podcast was really, really fun. And I told him, if you don't know, the podcast was called Can't Win for Losing. And it was right. Am I right? That was
Mhm.
yeah. So it was really fun. It was about sports betting and about sports, and it had discussions about sports topics of the day, which most times Boofer was wrong about, but and Gigi would try to point out to him, but he wouldn't listen. Anyway, no, I'm just joking. He's also one of my favorite people. Together, you both have given me a lot of confidence in terms of comedy. So as
Awesome.
you see me doing more, y'all can blame them for giving me the initial inspiration and confidence to keep going.
It's our fault. I'm so sorry, everyone.
That's awesome. So what is your favorite song from your album?
A favorite song? Not sure. It's so funny because I'm already thinking about my second album because I have
That's all
all the
good.
songs pretty much ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'm immediately thinking of a song from there. But like from this current album, I'm gonna say Shell Song,
Shell song.
which I don't know. It's just sort of this dreamy kind of trip.
Are we allowed to
Something
play
other
any
people
of it?
love too.
Can I play some of it? Or you don't want
Eventually, yeah, sure. Like when I would love for you to play some of my music if you ever feel like it when it comes out, for sure.
when it comes out. So we
Mhm.
got to wait for a little bit to see it happen. I'm trying to see if I can
Love it.
like pull it up and find it cuz it's probably not on, it's not out yet,
Yeah,
right?
like I know, like nothing is out yet
I get it.
in
Okay.
the studio right now.
All
Yeah.
right. But yeah, it's man, I can't tell you how awesome it is because I just knew you as so, like people who would come to the show, and to see you start blossoming and seeing more and more of like the music and like the rock star vibe. Because when y'all came to the show, y'all had like a very rock star vibe when you would come to the comedy shows. I was like, who are these cool ass people who are just kicking it in the back and laughing at stuff I say? That was a bug that was in the way. I was just trying to slap a bug. Sorry. But I was like, who are these? And then to find out you are actually a rock star.
Yeah, it's been sort of in process for a lot of years. I've been writing music since I was a kid, pretty
Wow.
much. Like I grew up playing piano. And when I was about 13 years old, a friend of mine played a song that she had created on the piano herself, and a light bulb popped on in my head. And I was like, oh, people can do that? Like you can
Right.
just create your own song. And the next
Right.
day, I came back and I played a song for her that I had created, and I think it really pissed her off. Um, like, how'd you do that so quickly?
Yeah.
But
Sometimes when that inspiration is in you, it's just like in you. You know what I mean? Like when you can just come up with things and it's just naturally just flows from you. There's like a muse or like a wellspring that just basically it comes. And sometimes people will get a little bit kind of annoyed at that. I don't know. I feel like like a lot of people in comedy have the same like set that they'll be working on for a while. And I tend to like to throw out like a lot of different things working towards something like an album or something like a taping or whatever. So I'm just constantly doing new different things, and some of them aren't very good, but you just are
Mhm.
constantly kind of, pulling that thing out, and then people could get annoyed when it's like, why don't you just do this? How did you come up with all that so quickly? It's like, oh, I'll just keep throwing it out. I'll just keep putting it out there,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's really
I
awesome.
totally I feel that completely. I had someone say to me one time, "Oh, it's so easy for you."
Yeah.
Like, I get what you're saying,
It's not
but
that it's easy, right? But it's like it comes naturally from you. Like when it's happening, it may seem like it's easy, but it does take a lot to bring that forward. It's a weird type of thing, that inspiration thing.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. But yeah, with the music, and I've been in theater for a long time, I've done stuff around the DC area. I've been in one act, like, shows and stuff. It's something that I've been sprinkling throughout my life, I wanna say,
Right.
and now I'm just sort of really focusing and putting the work in because that was my whole thing, right? Like, I was sort of not focusing myself on a particular goal
Right.
when I had the materials and I had the stuff behind me. I just need to, like, direct it in some way. So, I decided about a year ago, I'm going to actually put this into,
Yeah.
a real product here and decide to start buckling down with my songs and recording stuff.
I think that is so important, focusing on producing something, right? Like making something, and then once you do that and you have a target, it makes all the other things, like what songs am I going to play, or what am I going to do, like it all starts to kind of coalesce and get figured out when you have a product in mind, or a thing in mind, a goal in mind that you're marching toward. And the other thing that I think is cool, and why I've started looking at myself trying to do a very similar thing, is the little ones, they see mom work towards something, a goal to finish a thing. And like you said, when you're younger, it's like in terms of sports or art or whatever, it's always like put in front of you. You know what I mean? Like you're watching the NFL and you're like, oh, those are the gladiators, the big people that do it. And you're like, no, 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 this person is just like you. They just do a lot of working out, and then they get better at the thing. And then all of a sudden they, are able to be on this grand stage. Or like writing a song, it's like, no, this person is just like you. They just sat down, figured out a melody, strung it together with words, and now they have like a song. But when you're young, you don't know. You just think those things are just put in front of you, like, oh, that's just the person on the TV that's put in front of me. I couldn't do that. It's like, no, if you work and you give yourself a goal, you can actually create a thing, and then be part of that thing, and be the person who's inspiring others, really.
Mhm. Yeah, that's so true. And I'm sure everyone might look at that slightly differently. For me, I do fully understand what you're saying, and I also reflect back on my own childhood and seeing some of the people in my life, like my family members, an aunt that I was very close to who treated me like her own daughter. Um, it's almost like the opposite happened to me because she was very much in the theater and she had some plays that were produced on Broadway and everything. And I used to grow up like watching her rehearse the productions and stuff and like just kind of hang out in that scene. Before I was around, like she used to just be, I don't know, kind of a partner, like another theater person that would help
Right.
out the actor's studio that would come through Saratoga in the summertime. So
Hmm.
like John Houseman's group. Uh, so like she was really close friends with people who were a big deal. I never met John Houseman, but like my mom used to be that kid hanging around with all of them in Saratoga in the summers. And it was no big deal. And then when I was a teenager, hanging out with her in the summer, and she would kind of like pump me to work at her theater, I would hang out with like directors from the original Star Trek and hear about
Ooh.
stories about William Shatner and like their New Year's Eve thing with George Takei. Like it was, but like you saw the other side of it,
Right.
because everything is so parabolic, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
see the one side where you saw the glitz and glamour,
Right.
but then you see them just at this regular dinner where, oh, and now back to reality. You know what
Right.
I mean? So I think a part of me always, I think that helped me be a little bit too apathetic for a while
Interesting.
because I was sort of like around these people who had made it work for them, right? And then they were just doing the regular thing and life goes on. And I was like, okay, so like, what's the point? I know that might sound
Yeah.
really like dark, but so I just sort of created my own life for a while, and I, have my kids and my beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
And then for me, it finally came down to wanting to invest in myself and
Hmm.
like not having it be about any other outside influence
Yeah.
or any sort of like money or anything else, all the trappings, right? It wasn't about that. It was about just kind of letting my voice out. And that's, I think, when the most honest artwork can emerge, you know?
Right. When you're not worried about anything, you're just letting basically that muse like come through and like speak. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
letting your spirit speak. I guess is what I would call it, when I feel like when things flow through you like really quickly, and that's how you end up coming up with songs probably so quickly, you know what I mean? You're just letting your spirit speak, and then it puts all the keys together, it puts everything like right in its place. But I think the hardest part is allowing yourself the space and the opportunity to get to that point where your spirit can speak, because like you said, all the trappings and everything, they bottle that up, or they make it sound different, or make it be different. But when you are in a place where you can let it basically speak and not be hindered by all those trappings, that's when magic happens.
Right. And I mean, for you, when you are creating your comedy and, your podcast and everything, this is such an amazing living document that one day your son will be able to listen to. You know what I mean? And see
Yeah.
you. And I mean, that has to be something pretty profound for you.
I hope so. I hope he just doesn't hear me making the jokes and saying the random stuff, and he's just like, what, that was a weirdo. But
Yeah, but I think back on the
yeah.
podcast when I had that with B,
Hmm.
I really enjoyed that experience, and I tease him every now and then because I would love to jump back in the studio and do that with him
Yeah.
still. Um, he, of course, is like, "Hey, who was the one doing all the work there?"
Yeah.
He would do, like, all the research and stuff, and I just kind of show up
Show up.
on
Yeah.
microphone and be
Yeah,
like,
well, I would tell him, here's because and he probably does not want to hear this, but I read this book. It's like a book by I forget who it is. It's called like the 10x rule, and but a lot of people have said this, where it's like if you're working towards something, like if you put just like 10x more effort, or strive for 10x more effort every time you feel like you've reached something, that it propels you way further where you want to go. And so I have felt the same way in like, comedy and life and everything. And we got like the house and the kid and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, it's like so much. But then I remember it's like, go 10x harder. You know what I mean? Go
Mhm.
harder to get what you want and strive for more. So I really have been kind of living in that. And that's why you see now the Grant Cardone, the 10x rule. Thank you, Stephanie. See
Mhm.
our amazing producers in the back.
Yes,
Just
definitely.
feeding me all kinds of information. It's like I have an AI built in to the podcast.
Stephanie,
But
way better than ChatGPT, for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. You know what? That's it's Steph GPT, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. And I can touch her boobs. That's also. I'm just joking. I can't, because those are now my sons. Um,
Okay.
no, it's this thing where you have to push yourself harder than you thought you can go. That way you
Mhm.
can go further. And I would say that to him, because it sucks when you're doing the podcast and it's like, man, I'm doing all this work or whatever and nobody else is doing it. But you have to realize this is you're dreaming the thing that you want. And once you do that, like the blessings and the things that you receive are way on the other side of it. So it's like you don't feel like you're getting any respect or anything cool happening. You're
Mhm.
doing all this work or whatever, and like, what's the point? And like our podcast now, it's like when you're starting out, you start out with like one listener or whatever, but the more that you do it and the more effort that you put into it, and as you continue to go, it just grows like exponentially. So I've
Mhm.
always heard if you get one, then you can get 10, and if you get 10, then you can get 100. If you get 100, you get 1,000, and it just kind of grows and gets exponential from there. I'm still
Mhm.
on the tens, but hopefully I've got tens
Yeah,
of listeners, but hopefully you'll have hundreds of listeners,
I
because
know
we'll be
you
saying
will.
some pretty cool stuff. But yeah,
You will for
I would
sure.
tell him to work hard. That's what I would say. Work harder, B.
It's funny though because I can't I can't push him to do that,
Yeah.
and I respect that this is his choice. Like this
Right.
is like him saying, I'm sort of putting it down. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be doing my own thing, focusing on other projects, whatever
Projects.
those
Yeah.
will be for him. And I have to respect that. Like,
Yeah, for
as
sure.
much as I would love to continue Can't Win for Losing because that was so much fun for me. I felt like it was just the two of us vibing off of each other for like an
Right.
hour and a half, and it was fantastic. But at the same time, it wasn't his bag. Like that
Yeah.
wasn't what he wanted,
It's a
and
lot.
I have to sort of go on my own path now.
No, it's
And
cool. What
I
about the kids? Like, what do the kids like? Do they like the music more? Or do they like the podcasting thing more? Or are they like kind of indifferential between either?
I think, you know what? So the older one would stay up and listen to us podcast, and like you might hear him like in a couple of episodes,
Yeah.
you'll hear him laugh in the
Yeah.
background. If you hear like a little tinkling of a child laughing, that is
Yeah.
the eldest child in the background, probably laughing at something really obscene that B had just
Right.
said. Um, so I think he got a kick out of it. And I think it also inspired him to do his own thing because now he is on Twitch.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's doing his whole gaming
Yeah.
experience. This was very hard for a mother to sort of let their child go off and enter the
Into the
online Twitch
world.
realm,
Yeah.
but,
Well, that's
he's
so crazy.
successful.
Yeah, well, because now they're out and they're not just yours, they're the world's, and everybody's looking in on them, and you don't know like what they're going to say, what people are going to say to them, how the world's going to take them, how the world's going to affect them. You know what I mean? If they're getting these things, and it's like very nerve wracking once you like really like this is a thing. Here's the thing: like before, parents they would just have to worry about releasing their kid out into the world, like going to school
Mhm.
and doing everything, and now you have to worry about releasing your kid digitally as well as into the world, which is
Right.
this is a new frontier. Like we've never experienced this before.
Yeah. No, it's, and we're really like, we kind of keep the kids on lockdown in a lot of ways because the eldest one, he is on Twitch, but at the same time, B is a moderator for his Twitch channel. So like he's always on there whenever he ends up going live. And he's able to kind of like check, engage what's going on. And so we feel like we're kind of protecting him in that way. Um, the other blessing is that the older child just isn't that into social media
That's good.
or even
Yeah.
like he's cool with leaving his phone at home.
Hmm.
Whose teenager is okay with that? Like,
Right.
good lord.
I
So
can't
happy
even
for
leave my
mine.
phone at home. Yeah, I don't even leave my phone at home.
Yeah, like I panic as well. But the younger one, I mean, he's sort of our free spirit,
Mhm.
and he's already complaining. He's about to go into 5th grade, and he's complaining that all of the other kids in his class have cell phones, that the parents allow their kids to watch whatever they want, like Stranger Things,
Oh, okay.
Wednesday, like all of the big hot
Yeah.
shows that are definitely not for him right now.
Right.
So we're kind of like the mean parents who don't let him have anything. But at
That's
the same time, we let him run through the neighborhood, hanging out with his friends, and
yeah.
we
And
let
he
him.
gets to go to rock shows. Like,
Yeah,
how many kids
yeah.
got that on their side, Get behind the scenes.
I know. I think we let him live a pretty feral existence, quite frankly. Like, as soon as it turns 10 a.m., he is out the door.
Oh,
And,
wow.
like, we don't see him for the rest of the afternoon. Like, we don't see him until dinner time, and,
Right.
like, I'm okay with that. Like, go hang out in the neighborhood, do your thing.
Right. Yeah, live your life. Oh man, it's gonna be hard getting to that point. Like, because right now we're managing everything that happens. And it's like once you get to that point where they're off into the world, it's like scary. And digitally so also very very, very frightening. But B said one of the main points of advice in parenting, and he would like, I still remember this, he told me so the way that he does the digital thing is like introducing things as they were introduced to him as a kid. So like don't jump straight to playing Xbox or Switch or all that other stuff. Like they work their way up through like a, you know, like a old school kind of computer, and then like in Atari games, and then Nintendo games, and then, you know what I mean, like in SNES. And it's just kind of like a progression similar to we had the progression. And I think I'll probably do that with movies too. Like, all right, let's start you with, you know what I mean, like these old school movies that I, you know, kind of cut my teeth on and figured out. Although when I was young, like I think the first movie I ever saw in the theaters was Untouchables. Oh, is that you got an NES controller? Nice.
Yeah. I mean, he's still like, this is about as advanced as he is right now.
I love that. I love that. And it makes sense. It's like, because our brains would have been
I'm so sorry. He has gone to the Nintendo 64.
Oh, wow. See, he even has the controllers, the actual controllers that people use back in the day. It's not even a simulation from another, like a more advanced system controller. He has the actual controller. Those are probably worth a lot of money. They don't even make those anymore. I don't even know how you do that. That's amazing. That is super, super cool. I don't know.
So we're really excited because this Christmas time, I think it's coming to the Angelica Film Center. We're planning on taking the youngest one to go see Gremlins in the movie theater.
Oh wow. Okay. That is super cool. That is super
and cool. We're just kind of graduating him as he gets older. We're kind of like, you know, the Christmas or the holiday or like the event movies like Indiana Jones or whatever. Like in a couple of years, he might start watching those. So we're sort of graduating him up as he goes along.
That's dope. That is the big piece of advice that you heard on this episode, as well as like graduate them up, like, you know, stair step it so that they're not jumping in and watching things at the highest level.
Give your children stuff to look forward to.
Yeah.
Like that is my advice. Like just, even if you can give them more than that, just don't.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Like, you know, because I think about when I got to be an adult, and at a certain point, it like you realize like everything has kind of been done before. Similar to what you were saying about hanging out with the movie stars or the TV stars and everything, and seeing like their life and being like, is this all there is? Well, then, you know, what is the point? Like, you don't want to get bored with it. You know, you get to the end of, like, you get to adulthood, you're just like, wait, I've like, oh, so this is everything, huh? This is all the stuff to do, all the things to, all the experiences. Like, that's it. That's all we got. You want them to not reach that point quicker than they have to, because I think that leads to a lot of sadness. If you kind of, you know, reach that plateau before you really have experienced things, it's kind of sad. You know, you get to that jaded point way quicker than you should.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. So, all right. So here at the BLERDS podcast, what we like to do every episode is we like to find out, what do you like to nerd out about? So the blerding question, what do you like to nerd out about? What do you nerd out about, Gigi Marie?
Ballet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're all into the pirouettes and the shoes and the whole nine. Yes, the pliés, isn't it plie? That's a thing as well, right?
It is.
Yeah. Look, I'm a little cultured.
Yeah.
Do you do ballet? Do you dance?
So I do a little bit. I took ballet when I was younger, and parents out there, if you want your child to be flexible, have them take ballet when they're like kids, because they'll be able to touch their toes no matter what age they are if they take ballet. Anyhow, yeah, I took ballet when I was a kid for a couple of years, and then because of financial reasons, it was a choice between ballet and piano for me. And I chose piano. I kind of wish that I kept taking both, but it just kind of wasn't an option. Yeah. But I also continued to practice on my own.
So what's your favorite part of ballet? Like, go into the weeds. What's going on with ballet that makes it so
You
ingrained in your
know,
life?
it's just incredible the amount of acting that goes into it because it's
Mm,
all like this weird pantomime. But in order for it to become something that an audience really resonates with and can believe, okay? This is what's so incredible to me as like an actor. Um, it has to be overdone, but not too much.
mhm,
Like it has to be a little bit melodramatic, but at the same time, perfectly honed to whatever that emotion is.
interesting.
And between conveying that emotion and being the absolute athletes they are and showing just this sort of raw emotion on stage and the music overall, I think they're the most incredible artists there are.
Nice. Do you get to the ballet often?
Not as often as I'd like. I used to quite often when I was younger, but I don't know. I need to figure out what's going on in DC.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always DC has like everything, you know, if you're into something, you can find a troupe or a group of people that probably are doing it. Um
Mhm.
yeah, so wait, so ballet, did you like The Black Swan? Did you enjoy that? Was that a did you like that film?
It's really funny because I ended up creating God, my kids tease me about this, and B definitely teases me about it. But before that movie came out and like Gmail had just come around, I'm
Uh-huh.
not telling you the whole name, but it had something to do with Black Swan.
Oh, really?
But it was before the movie. So yeah, I'm a fan. Black Swan was interesting.
Uh-huh.
Not a movie I go back and see time and time again, but I love that construct of having the that polar opposite sort of villainess character who
Mhm.
comes in and destroys everything. And everything that you almost were able to achieve, like they're going to come in, swoop in, and take it all away from you, right? I love that idea. And then somehow fighting against it and finding a way to overcome. It's beautiful. Even though it's still a tragedy, even
Yeah.
though Swan Lake will still make me cry every single time. There's something heroic in that ending, no matter what. Um, if you know, you know.
Yeah. What's your favorite ballet movie? Do you have or ballet performance or show?
I love Giselle.
Oh, I've never heard of Giselle. What is
Giselle
Giselle?
is my favorite ballet. I'm
What
kind
is
of like a goth ballet chick. I like
okay.
ghosts and I like so Giselle basically dances until she dies in order to save her lover. Um,
Mm,
and it has a lot to do with ghosts. So, highly
interesting.
recommend.
Dude,
It's
that
really good.
idea of dancing till you die for your
Yeah.
lover, that is
Mhm.
that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to explore. Because when I dance, I get like, I don't know, I got maybe 10 minutes of good dance
Oh,
time
man,
before my legs
Stephanie,
give out.
Stephanie,
70, I hope we never
that's
come
him
across.
working out.
I have been back in the gym because I got to get my stamina up. I used to be able to go for, but dancing is difficult. You know, like if you've danced before, 10 minutes is like 4 or 5 songs.
Mhm. Mm.
That's a good, you know what I mean? Or, depending on who's the singer or the artist, it's about 4 or 5 songs. All right. How many songs are going to be on your album? Can you tell us that?
9
Nine.
songs.
9 originals.
Mhm.
That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
fire.
super excited.
I'm super excited too. I can't wait to see him. Is B in the building? Is he there right now?
He is in the house.
Is he
Oh my god,
really?
oh my god. Yeah, he is.
Is he sitting overseeing? I feel like he oversees everything that comes out of your home digitally. He's like, whatever's happening on this Twitch, whatever's happening on this podcast, I gotta. He's the
Um,
warden.
he's here.
He's chilling. And I would just like to point out to him that he stopped doing the podcast, but now he's basically doing the producing for his son's Twitch. So it's Like you might as well keep doing the pod if you're going to be doing it.
I agree with you. I know it's just like one little more thing that he can add to his plate. But like, yeah, he's producing the Sun's Twitch. He's producing my music career.
Nice.
Like, he's continuing to do a lot for all of us. And
He does so
we
much.
thank him.
I'm super awesome. All right, so you have been a super long time follower of mine. Do you I'm at because I hadn't been doing comedy. Do you miss my comedy? Do you miss
I do miss your comedy. Yeah. Like I remember, okay, so Glenn, I remember going to, what was it, the Wonderland Ballroom?
Yeah, Wonderland, and then Dewdrop
That was,
In also was another show that we
mhm.
had.
But like Wonderland was great.
Mhm.
I mean, it was all so much fun. It feels like an era gone
Right. And
by. You know what I mean?
you know what? That was like our last. I remember we had that last show right before the pandemic. And then and then it all like went away. I felt like we were going like we had very good momentum. Like the shows were good. We were popping up
It
doing new
did.
ones and
Mhm.
different ones, and they were getting traction. And I felt we were a highly sought ticket. And then the
Mhm.
pandemic kind of shut all that down. But now we're back out there, and I've just been
Okay.
performing, but I haven't produced any shows yet, which I'm getting the itch to like, all right, I need to like actually put a show on because I miss doing that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm actually taking a stab at it for the first time myself. I put together the show that's happening at Galactic Panther, like
Oh,
finding the
nice.
bands and everything and putting it all together. So it's exhilarating, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that sort of synergy that happens.
Yeah, it's that
Um,
angst of like
mhm.
people coming out, getting everything together, making sure everything works right. And then when it all comes together and it does, and then you sit out and people are having a good time or they're laughing or they're grooving to the music or whatever, it's just like this feeling of like, yes, I did it. I presented a space for people to do a thing, and now they're doing the thing and it feels good.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope that you continue getting out there. You know that we'll always be around, like Coon Holler and
Right. Yeah,
anything you do.
absolutely. No, we've been doing it more, and then I have all the all the new baby jokes and relationship jokes that are coming out, and I really think what I want to do is like another special because I did the first one that I put on YouTube, and I want to work towards like another one, and then basically kind of just have that as my vehicle and just have them get better every time. So you do the first one is kind of like in your living room, and then the next one is maybe at like a venue, and then a bigger venue, and then hopefully eventually you're uh doing really large venues. I want to be the
Mhm.
first to go to the moon. I want to do comedy on the moon, on
Comedy on
Mars.
the Moon.
Yeah.
Yes, you
i'm,
should. That would be
I'm
so amazing.
I'm still trying to talk Stephanie into taking this spaceship travel, and she's not really on board with traveling intergalactically for a set.
Well, it doesn't have to be intergalactic.
Okay,
We're
right.
still,
We can stay in this galaxy.
contained in
Yeah.
a way, you
Yeah.
know? But, now that you mention it, I saw this clip from something that NASA put out not too long ago about an acoustic guitar in space, like at the
Oh,
space station. An astronaut was playing it, and the resonance from this guitar, it was unreal. So,
really?
like, a part of me sort of, when you go play comedy in space, I'll join you and I'll be like an opening act
Yeah, please.
playing my acoustic guitar
Yeah.
just in
I
zero
want
gravity.
like when you're somewhere and if the oxygen is stronger or more like
Mhm.
potent or whatever, like you just there's a better feeling or whatever. I wonder what it's like in space. Like, do you laugh more? Does it give you the giggles? You know what I mean? To be out there, or like what is the vibe up there? What's the vibe? What's the vibe in space?
I know. I mean, I wonder.
I think that should be the name of this episode is what's the vibe in space?
The vibe in space. Easy
Yeah.
laughs or what?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I don't know. It'll be kind of interesting, but yeah, if you become uh what would it be? Not interstellar, I guess. What is it called if we're just in this galaxy or in this star system? It's just outer space. galactic. What would it be? Superstar? What kind of what would that be called?
Domestic space travel.
Yeah, what is that type of super like you know like you're not big enough to go outside of the
Interstellar.
galaxy, but you could in this galaxy I'm real big.
Oh, yeah. In the Milky Way, I'm hot.
In the Milky Way, I'm killing it. I'm crushing
Uh-huh.
in the Milky Way.
Yeah.
That's what it be. But yeah, man. Well, you know what? I feel like you should tell the people like where they can find you, all of your socials, and what you got coming up next.
Absolutely. In probably every social media platform, look for Gigi Marie Music. And I have a little link tree set up on my bio where you
Oh,
can
nice.
check out when my recordings become available before the end of 2023, but also links to some upcoming gigs that I have. Galactic Panther, I also have the public option, and more will probably sprinkle in before the end of the year.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to check out the one in public option. That's November 3rd in
Yes.
DC at the public option in
Super
DC.
excited about that. Like, it'll be me and then also this band called Edison Skies.
Okay.
So we'll be doing that together, and it should be so much fun.
It should really kill. I'm excited. I think I'm gonna mark the calendar. I'm gonna see because what time do you go on? Do you know what time would it begin?
For that show, I think it starts like 8:30.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a little late for a 3-year-old, or a 2-year-old, but but there are some things.
I've
Yeah.
seen him be up at your comedy shows, Glenn.
Yeah.
That
Well,
child is a night owl.
yeah. I mean, I try to get him out there. You know why? Because I feel like it's a cool thing, you know what I mean, for him to experience that I don't think a lot of kids will get to experience. It's like he gets to go to this, especially in this day and age, where everything's kind of like sanitized. You're in the school, people don't get to say outlandish things as much anymore. And I feel like being able to go somewhere where people can still say outlandish things reminds you like we're still alive. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like, we're still real. Like, let people speak. Absolutely. And it's just so inspiring for him to be able to see you. You're his dad.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Especially if I'm
really
doing well. You don't want to see his dad bombing up there. Like, all right, dad, maybe you should
I'll be
hang it
like,
up.
Dad, I have some notes for you after tonight's performance.
Wait,
First,
did your kids give you notes on music? Do they give you like, oh, you should say this, mom, or here would be the cool little bar?
I've had a couple of notes from the younger one. He's been like, I mean, it was a little bit loud. Like, it was supposed to be.
Right? What if that one time happens where how like you wrote a song and then came back and then the person who like showed you was like jealous? Like, do you think that'll happen if he writes a song? And will you be like, how did you do that?
Oh my gosh, I will be so proud of him. Like, I will
Right?
that would be amazing.
Yeah. If
Like,
he just comes back.
seriously, there will be no jealousy. I want my children, and I'm sure you feel this way too, right, Dad?
100%. Yeah.
Like, I want my children to be as successful as they possibly can be.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
no ego.
I think it's weird when
No.
people don't want their kids to surpass them. It's like you have this thing that's supposed to grow taller than you or be bigger than you, and then people will get jealous and like, "Ugh, I'm jealous of my like kid." No, I want him to, you know what I mean, to have and do more than I do, and take everything that I've given him and like go further. I would actually be upset if he did not, aspire to be greater than me. So no matter what I do, I'd like him to take it a step further. I feel like that's what we all should aspire to do as children and parents to children.
Absolutely. I'm with you for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, cool. So November 3rd, the public option, album is dropping before the end of the year. Anything else that you want the people to know? What's the party shot? The last thing you would like them to know about Gigi Marie and her music and her life?
Oh my gosh, about my life. I don't know. Just be kind, everyone. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to other people, and follow your passions.
Be kind, follow your passions, and they just might lead to space.
Yes. The final frontier.
The final frontier. Well, that'll be like the final word on the podcast because we've like covered the whole thing, man. We've covered creating music, creating having kids that are also creators, being a creative person, where the inspiration comes from, space travel, the aliens, what they're going to think about our art. We didn't get too much into that, but maybe next time we'll talk about what we think.
Okay, so I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't mean to throw you off, but like,
Not at
what's
all.
going on with the aliens?
I don't
What do
know.
you think?
I hope that they laugh. I hope they have a sense of humor. That would be the worst if they came here and they didn't have a sense of humor. You know, it's like, come on, that's half the fun of being human, guys.
Mhm.
Like if the aliens don't get that humor is the biggest part of this is why we're all going to hell in a handbasket, because we keep laughing. It's like I feel like the end of the world is going to happen, but the memes are going to be great. You know what I mean? Like everything will fire.
The biggest jokes, for sure.
Yeah, the biggest jokes. Like I think, and I feel like we can't stop laughing. I feel like the whole planet has been hit with like laughing gas, and we can't stop laughing. It's like, hey, Hawaii's on fire. This is serious, and we're just like, ha, 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 ha. Look at this beam. You know, like it's like an episode of The Simpsons. It's like, when are we going to get it together? Although, like to answer your question, I hope that the aliens, I hope that they find beauty in the things that we find beauty in, like comedy, like music, like artwork. I hope they find beauty in those things and can see the beauty in us for creating them, and you know, as part of the universe, because I think we have a place in it.
That's so beautifully put. I'm with you. Yes.
Let's do it, man. Let's take this to outer space. I want you have a show out in outer space. I'll open up for you, and vice versa. You'll be the opener if I'm headlining on Mars. We'll make that happen.
Yes, I'm psyched. Aliens, I hope you find us beautiful.
I hope you find us beautiful. And I think that about sums it up. So, you know, there's nothing really left to say in this episode except for blerd that out.